In my relationship history, spiritual relationship history, one of the reasons why I have been told, or it has been communicated to me, that I don't have my desire is because something is unsafe. The reason why you're not getting your desire, the reason why you're not getting the thing that you're wanting is because the universe is protecting you, because your ancestors are protecting you, because the powers and authorities that be know more than you do about this situation and circumstance or this person. And this is a really, really tricky understanding and message to receive overall, because it has subconsciously put me under the impression that I can't trust myself, and I can't trust my own desires, and I can't trust what I want. I'm mopping while I'm doing this. And I can't trust what it is that I want, because what if it's unsafe? So I'm just going to throw out desires and ideas that I have. And if it comes to me, then that means it's safe. Or some people might say it was meant for me. It was destiny. And if it doesn't happen and it doesn't come to me, then it must have been unsafe, and rejection is protection, right? So one thing that I do want to say here is that yes, there are times when I wanted to be in a relationship with someone who, had we gotten into a relationship, the dynamic would have been very unhealthy and very unsafe for me, right? And then you do look back on those situations and you go, okay, I actually am grateful that I did not have that experience, because that experience wasn't a safe experience for me physically, emotionally, whatever. And so it's not that the problem is being spiritually protected or being looked out for. It's that the problem is, at least for me in my life, I was raised in a way which was unintentional, but still, the consequences of the way that I was raised was that I grew to become someone who felt just incapable. I felt incapable of making decisions and choices for myself, because what if I make a decision and choice that I don't like? What if I make a decision and choice and end up getting hurt? What if I make a decision and choice and all of these negative consequences? Because that's how I was raised. I was raised on, these are the negative consequences of what you might have done or what someone else might have done. I tell this story. Sometimes my mom used to tell me fairy tales and stuff, and she would put her own spin on it. And I remember she was telling me the story of Little Red Riding Hood. And she was telling me, and Little Red Riding Hood went into the forest and basically got fucked up by the big bad wolf because she didn't listen to her mother. And, you know, I think that as parents, we tell our children things and we give them warnings because we want them to be safe, because we love them, because we don't want negative, bad things to happen to them. But what's being communicated when we tell these stories, when we hear these stories, is you shouldn't trust yourself. You shouldn't trust your instincts. You shouldn't trust your gut. You shouldn't trust your intuition. You shouldn't trust your inspiration. And all of the things that I've just mentioned, your gut, your intuition, your instincts, your inspirations, that's your inner being. That's your soul. That's the part of you that is eternally connected to the universe, to source energy, to all that is. That's the part of you. Those are the aspects of you that are guiding you exactly where you're being asked to go. You're being wired by your parents, by people outside of you, through these stories and through these experiences, not to trust that. And that's a problem, because me being attracted to the relationship that would have been very terrible and painful for me, that experience served me. It did. Because the reason that I was attracted to that guy and to that experience was because of a million inner children, my subconscious babies, my little me, the wounds that attracted me so strongly, so powerfully to that person, to that experience, had I not followed my intuition, had I not followed my gut, had I not followed my instincts to that person, to that situation, this healing, this YouTube channel, this business, all of this would have never happened. Would have never happened. I would have never become aware had I listened to the people who are rejection is protection. This person doesn't deserve you. Da 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 da. Why? Because at some point in my journey, I realized it was never about the person. It was about the fact that the person was triggering everything in me that needed to be triggered. And so, of course, I want to continue to connect with the person who's triggering the fuck out of me because that is inspiring so much growth. Contrast is important. When we're afraid of things going wrong, when we're afraid of mistakes, when we're afraid of things not going according to our own plan, we're kind of sort of in a stage 4, which is appreciating, experiencing, and enjoying the manifestation you've allowed in. We're in a part 4 place, kinda. And we're afraid of leaving that part 4 place, enjoyment of what you've allowed yourself to receive, and stepping into a part 5. Why? Because a part 5 is contrast. A part 5 is a vibrational contrast, but we want part 5. We want vibrational contrast. Why? Because we want to be inspired to want something more. We want to be inspired to want something different. And so I've had this relationship with my spirit guides where I'm going on and on about relationships. And I talk about how sometimes I felt like a princess in a tower. And I felt like, why am I not getting the same life experience as everyone else? Because everything outside is so dangerous and nobody will let me go out and actually experience life because they're trying to protect me. And what I didn't realize as I was having these conversations was that I was communicating that I felt too sheltered and that I wanted to live and experience life and that I was okay with the potential risk. I was okay living life. I am okay living life with the potential risk that it might all go terrible, the potential risk that this person might be abusive, the potential risk that this relationship won't be safe because I'm connected to my inner being who guides me into situations is the same inner being that guides me to my step 1, asking, allowing myself to receive my inspired action, taking my inspired action, receiving what it is that I desired and was inspired to want by that step 5 contrast. We're not living life running away from contrast. We're living life to enjoy the experience and process of manifestation. And a part of that is, in a way, running towards contrast. I've been really enjoying and appreciating dating lately. And I've dated some guys. Very interesting experiences these have been. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the contrast because every single time I get to say, ooh, I really loved this about this guy. Didn't like that, so I know that I want this instead. Ooh, love this about this guy. I literally have a Frankenstein man that I'm building in my mind, building the perfect guy. Every single relationship, every single day, every single person I connect with offers me up such amazing contrast. Oh, and I might feel insulted when it's happening. I might not enjoy it in the moment, but I can appreciate that journey because when I do connect with that person, that has all of these characteristics that my contrast has inspired me to ask for, that my contrast has inspired me to put into the vortex, oh my God, the fucking juiciness, the enjoyment, oh my God, the enjoyment, the satisfaction I'm going to feel when that partner that just hit just right comes into my life. And so it's not just about me. I just want the person, I just want the person I'm supposed to be with now. because there are parts of me that I'm learning. I don't even know who that person is completely. You think that you want one experience, and then you learn if you go on another date, oh, I actually want the partner who responds in this way and who does this. And, oh, I thought that I didn't need sexual compatibility. I just needed a partner who was emotionally attuned to me. And then I attracted the guy who was emotionally attuned to me, and I wasn't physically attracted to him at all. And it turns out I need both. Who would have known that? I wouldn't have known that had I not allowed myself to have that experience. And so I'm saying all of this to say is that this idea and concept of you don't get that thing because you're being protected from it. We kind of want to dissect that, and we kind of want to, I almost want to say dilute that. We want to water that down to the very basics. And the basic is you only need to experience so much contrast. There are some people who need to experience the contrast of actually being in the relationship and spending those years in that relationship and going through that journey of contrast as they are inspired to want more and more and more until they decide to allow themselves to receive it and whatever. And then there are some people who don't need the full contrast. Maybe you just needed the conversation with the guy. This relationship or connection or what the hell ever it was with this guy from way back when, we don't even talk. We don't even talk. This guy triggers me, doesn't have to do a thing. I love that guy. I appreciate the fuck out of that guy just because he exists. Just his existence is so triggering to me. I love it. Because I've managed to do so much healing because of that. And what that means is I didn't need to get into a relationship with him. I didn't need to experience the things and the nightmares that I was seeing in my visions. I didn't need that contrast. And so it's just about really recognizing and understanding, going all the way back to my first point. You don't have to be afraid of your desires. You don't have to be afraid of your wants, because after being told over and over and over again, we're not going to give it to you because we're protecting you. As a child, I wanted to know things. Maybe I want to know about sex. Maybe I want to know about periods. I had an older sibling who was, no, you're too young. I'll tell you when you're older. That made me feel like, oh my God, what the fuck is so bad about a period that I can't know now, and I'm 12. Have me freaking the fuck out. The answer is nothing. The answer is there was nothing that bad going on. The answer is there was nothing that intense going on. The answer is that person needed me to need them so that they would feel worthy of love, because they believe that the only way to feel worthy of love is if somebody needs you. And then that means everybody in your life has to be in a state where they need you. So everybody in your life feels incapable. Boom. And so hearing these stories of, no, you can't move to New York because you're not supposed to. All of a sudden, my fear is triggered. What do you mean I'm not supposed to? What terrible thing is going to happen to me when I'm out there if I go after this thing that you told me not to? Do you guys hear those sirens? Love it. Hello, confirmation. What terrible, horrible thing is waiting out there for me that you're telling me no? What are you protecting me from? And so you experience this contrast within yourself of, I have this desire, I have this want, I have this thing, but I'm never going out on the dates, or I'm not actually having sex with the guys, or I'm not getting the jobs, or I'm not actually allowing myself to move, and all of this stuff. You feel afraid, and you start to close yourself off, and you stop wanting to ask. You stop wanting to show up to the universe and say, hey, I want this thing, because you feel like the universe is going to say no. And then you give your power over to the universe, which that doesn't work, because this is a co-creative process and they're bouncing off of you. So really you give your power over to your subconscious and allow your subconscious mind to continue to manifest your reality for you. And then you tell yourself the story that everything is happening how it's supposed to happen, and I'm not going to be attached to anything, and I'm going to get everything that's meant for me. But honey, everything that's meant for you is what you want for yourself. Everything that's meant for you is everything that you're desiring for yourself. Everything that's meant for you is everything that you're inspired to have by the universe. The universe is not protecting you from getting your desire. The universe might be protecting you, not allowing you to fully experience something if that's not the experience that you're wanting. But that doesn't look like, I'm going to give moving to New York as an example. If I say it is my desire to move to New York, I'm going to move to New York. I'm looking at apartments. I find an apartment. First apartment I find, I try to sign a lease in that apartment. I don't get that apartment. That doesn't mean the universe is protecting me and not letting me move to New York. That means, hey, baby girl, this is the apartment for you. There's one even better. There's one that's going to feel better. There's one with a better view. There's one that aligns even better with this money that we're bringing in for you that you don't even know you're going to allow yourself to receive. So we're not even going to show you this apartment until this X, Y, and Z thing aligns for you, because that's what divine orchestration looks like. That's what rejection is protection means. Rejection is protection doesn't mean I'm never going to allow you to have fun. I'm not going to allow you to enjoy your life. I'm not going to allow you to have those experiences. I'm not going to allow you to take risks because I'm protecting you, because I love you, because you're incapable of handling it yourself. No. Rejection is protection means I'm going to give you your desire, not right this second. You're aligning with it. You're aligning with it exactly, or you're aligning with something that is so much better, so much greater than your wildest dreams. And that's what the universe is promising you. That's what the universe is demonstrating to you. We really, really want you to understand that it has nothing to do with your capability. And as you're stepping into a position of empowerment in your life, you really have to understand you can handle contrast. You can handle it. If your worst fears happen, you will get through it. Because there have been times where your worst fear has manifested and you got through it. For me, my worst fear, I fucking manifested it because the psychic told me that it would happen, and it's all that I focused on for an entire fucking year. I manifested my tire going out, lost control of my car, totaled my car accident, middle of nowhere, manifesting money as I go, had to deal with the police, multiple of them, worse fears, weed in my car, it wasn't legal. It also wasn't a lot, in case anybody's listening to this. Worse fears, back to back to back to back, stacked on top of each other. And it literally all worked out. And it didn't just work out like it was okay. It worked out like it was amazing. It worked out perfectly. It worked out synchronistically. It worked out like there is a God, angels, ancestors, beings surrounding me, orchestrating my life so perfectly. And there was a juicy, hot police officer there. Wow. You guys get me. I don't swipe left on police officers anymore just because they're cops now. Crazy. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I manifested my worst fear so that I could show me that I could get through it. That there's nothing that I couldn't handle. That there's nothing that I couldn't overcome. That there's nothing outside of me that's coming for me that's going to end me. That's going to be the thing that I can't get over. That's going to be the big boss that I cannot beat. It's never coming, because there is nothing outside of you that is more powerful than you. Because the energy that creates worlds, the energy that has created the universe, the source of all things, is flowing through you. You are consciously co-creating this reality. You are so incredibly powerful. There is no system outside of you that is hurting you, that is hindering you, that can defeat you. Not possible, doesn't exist, never has. And this is the part where we mention Black Fortune. I think it's Black Fortunes. It's a book. The first Black billionaires or millionaires, first Black rich people who made shit happen in a time where we might reference and say it was impossible because look at this. We are hearing stories all of the time of these quote unquote miraculous things, and it's not so miraculous. It's just rare because everybody isn't aware that they have the power and the potential to do this. So I'm hoping that as you're listening to this, you're feeling inspired and you are allowing yourself to just tap into those feelings like never before, because that power, that potential is absolutely 100% available to you. I feel that strongly. And it is absolutely safe to trust your desire and to trust your instinct and to allow that to lead you where it will. Because at the end of the day, even if you are guided to a situation that inspires contrast within you, that contrast is just inspiring, taking you right back to step one, which will eventually lead you right back to step 4 all over again. And it's cyclical. So it's okay to trust yourself. You are capable of handling it. You're capable of weathering it. You are capable of manifesting your way out of it, manifesting your way into what it is that you want. Hope that this was super duper helpful to you. If you want even more clarity on the life that you're wanting to create for yourself in every single aspect, you want more clarity and awareness of where you are in relation to that, and you want practical steps as you're moving your way towards it, go ahead and get my free gift, digital journal, fillable, like digitally. So cool. Love it. Favorite feature. Linked in the description box below. I've also got workbooks, affirmation decks, all of that good stuff in the description box below. And if you want to come work with me one-on-one or in my mastermind, you already know the link to do so is in the description box below. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.